Hi and welcome to my channel. For those of you new, my name is Dave and I work in financial services, and these videos are a mixture of my journey and development towards financial freedom. They will be about financial products and they will also about improving your financial well-being, so hopefully you can reach your aims and financial goals. And remember, if you like the videos, smash the like button, subscribe to this channel so it can grow and reach a wider audience. Now let's get into this latest video. Now this video is about my SIPP review, so my self-invested personal pension. Now I do have a defined benefit pension from a previous employer. I do have an auto-enrollment scheme with my current employer, but contributions are restricted and the funds are restricted. So I've got my own SIPP, my self-invested personal pension, so I can control the level of contributions, and more importantly, I can control what funds or investments I hold. And hopefully it will give me the aims to retire early if I so wish. Now for those of you new, the aims of the portfolio is a year-on-year growth of 10%. For this year, for 2021, we're looking for dividends of £3,000 and we were looking for a year-end portfolio value of £90,000. Now, to the end of October, we received year-to-date returns of 32.86%. The end of November, year-to-date returns of 31.07%, so well above our targets of 10%. At the start of November, the portfolio was worth £99,028. At the end of November, it was worth £96,873. Our first monthly loss this year of £2,155. Portfolio was ticking along very nicely with very nice profits. Omicron suddenly emerged and the markets took a tumble on the Friday the 26th. The UK alone, the FTSE 100 was down 3.4%, hence the reason why our portfolio is showing a loss for this month, but ultimately a short-term blip, and it will not affect our aims and our investment styles, whatever we do in the coming months and years. This portfolio is not a get-rich-quick scheme, it's a long-term viable plan to create early retirement. Now, during the month, we made our monthly contribution of £100. The government topped it up with 25% tax relief. We received no dividends for the month, but year to date, we've reached our target of £3,116.88 in dividends, but we will receive some dividends in December from Sainsbury's, BP and Shell. And if we look across our holdings, based upon our 16 shares, our average yield is 2.75%. And for our dividends, we only include dividends from shares, which we will reinvest in the portfolio, whether through normal shares or at a later date on a regular investment date. We do not include any dividends we receive from our funds because they're all in accumulation units and they're automatically invested. During the month, our provider charges £14.13, and if we look at the following chart, predominantly based in the UK, 80.80% in the UK, 16.37% in the US and Americas, and 2.73% in Asia and the emerging markets. With regard to our shares, it makes up 77% of our portfolio, £74,352, of which 65% is in the FTSE 100 and 12% is in the FTSE 250. And we own 16 shares, 7 in profit, 9 in loss. Now, with regard to our shareholdings, I'm not going to go through all 16 shares we hold, but just a quick overview of our largest holdings and the reasons why we hold them. So our largest holding is Aviva. We own 4,064 shares, £15,646, makes up 16% of our portfolio, but given a very nice yield of between 5 and 6%, has been on a recent buying spree, has been involved in recent activists, and ultimately may pay a special dividend next year when results are due, and it will all be reinvested back into Aviva. Our next holding is Lloyds, the bank, 31,780 shares, £14,861, 15% of our portfolio. Recently struggled lately, but it did have great results, and hopefully dividends will be increased and again will be invested as a long-term viable option. Our next holding is one of our best performing shares, Greggs the Bakers, 267 shares, £8,000, 8% of our portfolio, but up 100% since we bought it. And our next holding has had a very good run lately, mainly due to the energy crisis, shall we say, which is Drax, the power plant. 1,173 shares, £6,400, 6% of our portfolio, but has had a very good run recently. Our next holding is probably our best performer, JD Sports. We did own 2,500 shares, has been consolidated, now own 500 shares, £5,572, 6% of our portfolio, but well over 200% in profit since we bought it. Not paying a great dividend, but a very cash-rich company, has been on a very good buying spree lately in America. Our next holding is Barclays Bank, 2,827 shares, £5,200, 5.4% of our portfolio, and just like Lloyd's in the banking sector, it was bought, hopefully interest rates will increase, profit margin will increase, dividends will increase, but ultimately, because of market share in the UK, a very good company. Our next holding is the banking sector again, Hsbc, £1,032, £4,300, makes up 4.4% of our portfolio. It was done to diversification, mainly based in Asia, but hopefully dividends will be reinstalled on a quarterly basis. And then other shares we own BP, we own Shell, we own Penn in the water company, we own AG Bar, the drinks retailer, which has just had very good results, and the shares were up on 13% on the day, well above their expectations for the year to date. We own John Menzies, has struggled recently because of the aviation and the Omicron virus, but again a very cash-rich company. And our smallest shareholding is Card Factory, £1,329, £648 in value, makes up 0.67% of our portfolio. Was a very cash-rich company, it was paying spell with dividends, but it was affected by the COVID, it was affected by bad debts, being restructured, but it will take a long time to recover. And then one share we did buy this month was Legal & General. We topped up our existing holdings, we bought another £1,000 in shares, and it now makes up 2.2% of our portfolio. But it was bought, one, it's a very good company, had very good results, very cash rich, but it is paying a dividend of 6.5%. And it was one of the few companies that did not decrease or cease its dividends during the COVID pandemic. So a quick summary, some shares in loss, 9 in loss, 7 in profit, but ultimately it's given us some very nice dividends, and hopefully when market sentiment does recover in the UK, that portfolio will increase dramatically. Now, if we look at the funds in our portfolio, we own 6 funds at the moment, all in profit. Makes up 23% of our portfolio. Total fund values £22,409. Now our largest fund is a technology fund, £6,300, makes up 6.5% of our portfolio, but a very nice profit of 57% since we bought it. The FANGs, the tech stocks, had a very good run. Whether that continues, wait to be seen, but we can certainly not complain with a very nice return of 57% over the recent years. Our next holding, quite selective, Bally Give It Positive Change, £4,416, 4.5% of our portfolio, but a very good return of 31%. And we did actually increase the existing holdings. We purchased another £600 in value during the month. Our next holding is a US smaller companies, £4,336, 4.5% of our portfolio and up 31%. Personally, although the FANGs and the tech stocks have had a great run, I think moving forwards, UK smaller companies will hopefully give us greater returns. And we did actually top that fund up during last month with another £1,000. Our next holding is a global growth, £3,656, 3.7% of our portfolio, 22% profit to date, but it was bought solely for diversification because we were so UK based we were at the time. Our next holding is quite selective, Lindsell Train UK Equity, £2,700, 2.8% of our portfolio, makes up a profit to date 8%, but it was bought because of the great managers and the track record over the last 10 to 15 years. But just like the positive change, very small select satellite number of shares, but all good quality companies. Down to our smallest holding is UK smaller companies, £1,016, makes up 1% of our portfolio, a small profit to date of 2%. Has been affected by the recent COVID, shall we say, but ultimately, I personally think UK companies, smaller companies, will outperform larger companies over the next few years. So it's bought to dip our toe into the water, but a very small portfolio, 1% of our portfolio. And another fund we did top up was our existing fund, it's a tech fund of £1,000. We did, as I said, we put £2,600 in our funds, one for diversification and two because the track record and the performance are given them. And that money came from a recent sale or the takeover from Morrison's. So instead of investing back into personal shares, we decided to spread it amongst our portfolio. So a quick recap, 77% of our portfolio in shares, 23% in funds, year to date to November, 31.07%. Okay, has suffered a recent dip, down 2% in the month, but ultimately well above our expectations of 10% year on year. The recent market, shall we say, sentiment is a short-term blip. It will recover. We may well see it as a good long-term buying opportunities at the start of December. Remember, if you like the videos, smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you again in the next video.